Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. John Baisley, First Ward. Bill Carlos, Second Ward.
Joe Conti, Third Ward.
Michael Sapone, Fourth Ward.
Ann Shershin, Sixth Ward.
Tancredi, Supervisor.
Felicia Salvatore, Town Clerk.
Jim Nelson, Attorney for the Town.
All right, we've combined two meetings tonight, the Committee of the Whole meeting and our with the Town Board meeting. We don't have a meeting next week, so we have no presentations for our Committee of the Whole meeting, but I'll run through committee reports really quickly, and then we'll get on to our Town Board meeting. Committee reports. Finance.
Nothing to report.
Fire Advisory.
Nothing to report.
Government Ops.
Nothing to report.
Land Use and Planning.
Nothing to report.
Personnel.
Nothing to report.
Recreation.
Nothing to report.
Senior Citizens.
No report.
Technology and Equipment.
Nothing to report.
Infrastructure.
Nothing to report.
All right. We will move on to our Town Board meeting. I'll run through agenda items, and then we'll take questions on agenda items. Agenda item number 1, authorize supervisor to sign maintenance agreement with Morpho Trust. 2 is a budget modification for police department. 3 is to authorize pay differential for police officer Tariq Shepard, who's going back to service. He's been called back to duty. 4, to authorize supervisor to sign retention for the Hudson Heritage Project. 5 is to retain Don McGrath appraisals for town-owned properties. 6 is to retain Vandewater and Vandewater for a lawsuit initiated by someone that was before the ZBA. 7 is to accept the retirement of Joseph Myers from the sewer department. 8 is to approve a referral to planning board for a project known as 297 Violet Avenue. 9 is a resolution for a lease of highway equipment. 10 is to authorize 2 special consent items. SC1 is to affirm stifle foil appeal documents to be provided by council at board meeting, which he's done, given to the town board. And 2 is the appointment of Cody Wilkinson as a temporary full-time laborer in the water department while we're having someone out. So I'd like to suspend the rules for public comment on agenda items.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Gentleman here to address the town board on agenda items. Doreen?
Question about special consent item number 1, Stiefel foil appeal documents, and not exactly sure what that means. I did file an appeal with the town board because I had requested records under the Freedom of Information Law. Some of those records were denied because of, partially denied because of, they were intra-agency and also because they were non-final. And I did point out that I believe that I should have been provided with statistical and factual information, and also because the information was non-final didn't necessarily mean that I should not have received that. So I'm not sure if this is to do with my appeal and what it means.
It is due with your appeal, and I think it'll be the town board's decision as to your appeal.
Okay, so you'll decide tonight on the appeal?
Yes.
Okay. And then the item 4, retention for Hudson Heritage Project. I'd like to say that, on some of these projects, particularly something significant like this, I'd like to see Hudsonia Consulting for when wetlands are involved. And I know that it said to provide wetland consultant would be for Aspen Environmental, Carol Knapp, who's worked on projects for the town many times, but it's my opinion that sometimes the proper wetland protection is not given. Again, that's my opinion. Sometimes I also think that it depends on who the engineering firm is as to whether or not standards are as strict for all projects. So again, for something like a large project like this with wetlands involved, I'd like to see Hudsonia or some other, what I would consider independent person hired. Thank you.
Thanks, Doreen. Anybody else? Seeing no one, I make a motion to resume the rules. All those in favor?
Aye.
Jay?
Be it resolved, the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby authorize the supervisor to execute an agreement with Morpho Trust USA LLC, FKA, Comnotix Inc., a copy of which is attached along with Chief Thomas Morrow's memorandum requesting the same. For the continued maintenance of the Police Department's live scan system, which computer-based equipment documents arrest, photographs, and fingerprints electronically. And be it further resolved, the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie finds that the solicitation of alternative proposals for these services would not be in the best interest of the town. And be it further resolved, the Town Board finds that this is a Type 2 action requiring no environmental review. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Item number 2, be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby modify the 2014 budget pursuant to the attached budgetary transfer request form submitted by the Comptroller to allow the purchase of 4 new mobile video in-car systems and a marked 2015 Ford Sedan Police Interceptor, AWD, for the Police Department as follows. From B3120-0103 Police Overtime, $35,000, to B3120-0432 Police Gas and Oil. 2, B3120-0472 Police Minor Equipment, $35,000. Did I get the right one?
Yep.
B3120-0203 Police Motor Vehicles, $15,000. So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Whereas Police Officer Tarek Shepard has been ordered to active duty by the United States Department of the Air Force National Guard Bureau, and whereas the Town of Poughkeepsie, as the employer, wishes to pay Police Officer Tarek Shepard the difference between his town pay and his military pay, as well as allow his personal benefit time to continue to accrue, now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie is hereby authorized a payment to Police Officer Tarek Shepard of the difference between his town pay and military pay, as well as allow his personal benefit time to accrue in his absence. So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those
Only
in-
that he's stepping forward again. This one he doesn't have any choice for.
Right.
And I think he and all the others that do it should be commended by us for what they do. Thank you
also-
very much.
It's also not an extremely long period of time, it's 9 months, and he'll be back with us September 10th.
Good.
Anything else? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Whereas the Town Board, Town of Poughkeepsie has presented with a major redevelopment project for the property known as Hudson Heritage, and in order to properly evaluate the project, the Town Board will require specialized legal, planning, environmental, and engineering services, and whereas the expense for the aforesaid services to the town will be paid by the applicant, and whereas Michael D. Zarin, Esquire of Zarin and Steinmetz, an attorney having large project experience, including work for the town and work on the Hudson Heritage site, has proposed to provide services to the town in this project at $427.50 per hour, at $292.50 to $211.50 per hour for other partners and associates, and at $90 per hour for paralegals, plus reasonable disbursements. And whereas Vanderwater and Vanderwater LLP, as attorneys for the town, has worked on the redevelopment of this site for the town, has proposed to provide legal services to the town at its regular rates. And whereas AKRF Incorporated, which responded to an RPF issued by the town for planning services, which response the town board finds best meets the town's development needs and economic interests, proposed to provide planning services to the town on this project at rates ranging from $210 per hour for senior officers to $90 per hour for technical 1 employees, plus regional disbursements. Whereas Carol Knapp of Aspen Environmental has previously worked for the town on large projects, including work on the subject site involving wetland, stream, and water and waste issues, and she has proposed to provide service to the town at her regular rate of $90 per hour, plus regional disbursements. And whereas Morris Associates, which has considerable experience with the conditions of the Hudson Heritage Site, based on its prior work for the town, is party to a contract with the town under which it has agreed to perform special assigned duties at its standard town rates plus reasonable disbursements. And whereas the town board finds that the retention of the above consultants would be in the best interest of the town, that Mr. Zarin's prior experience will benefit the town and presents no conflict with the town's interests, that it would not be in the best interest of the town to conduct a procurement for these services. Now therefore be it resolved that contracting for the aforesaid professional services is a type 2 action requiring no secret review, and be it further resolved that the supervisor is authorized to execute contracts for this project on the aforesaid terms and conditions with the above consultants. So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie has issued a request for proposals for real estate brokerage services related to 7 town-owned parcels of land, and whereas prior to listing the subject properties, the town will require professional assistance regarding the evaluation of the parcels, and whereas Donald M. McGrath, MAI of McGrath and Company, Inc., has full familiarity and long-term experience with evaluation of properties located within the town of Poughkeepsie, including town-owned properties. Now therefore be it resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby find that conducting a procurement for these valuation services would not be in the best interest of the town, and it does further authorize the supervisor to contract with Donald M. McGrath at a cost not to exceed $6,500 to act as the appraiser for the town of Poughkeepsie for the purpose of preparing summary appraisals for the aforesaid property town parcels. So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Be it resolved, the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby retain Vanderwater and Vanderwater LLP, attorneys of the town, to represent the Town of Poughkeepsie Zoning Board of Appeals in the matter of Paul and Nancy Zuzi against the Town of Poughkeepsie Zoning Board of Appeals, index number 2014-5079, at a rate of $165 per hour for partners, $155 per hour for associates, and $80 per hour for paralegals plus disbursements. So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Be it resolved that the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby accept with regret the retirement of Joseph J. Myers from the Town of Poughkeepsie Sewer Department effective retroactively to November 13th, 2014. So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? I just want to thank Joe for his years of service to the town, and we wish him well in the future.
Yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Be it resolved, the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby approve the referral of the 297 Violet Avenue project application received from Beacon Residential LLC for a zoning amendment from resident single-family 20,000 square feet R20 district to resident multifamily RM district to the Town of Poughkeepsie Planning Board for recommendation pursuant to Town Code 210, Chapter 154, and hereby consents to designation of the Planning Board as the lead agency for a secret review of said project. So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yes, I have a question. Neil, on the map that accompanied the resolution, I went on to parcel access and got the dimensions of the property. And it could be the way I'm reading it, but where the main building is, it looks like there's a 20-foot setback to the north, then a 50-foot building, and a 6-foot grass area, and a 12-foot driveway area. But the map shows that it's only 60 feet in space. Now, I called, and your staff told me that the maps on this parcel access may not be actually
Yeah, I
really
mean,
good.
you got to use them with caution. Sometimes the real property tax service measure out dimensions according to a deed plot, not an actual survey. If there hasn't been one filed, and some of these lots are very, very old, chances are there was never a survey done, or at least one you can rely on. The other thing, too, is that when you overlay a flat map onto the aerial, you've got to keep in mind the map is flat and the earth is round.
Makes
So
sense.
you've
I
always
didn't
got
know
a
that.
deviation.
This drawing here, is this a certified survey or
I
the one that's attached?
don't recall. It was a survey. I don't recall the attribution of the survey. It's one of the things we need to find out as we go forward on the.
Okay,
on the-
so the motion is to move it to planning so they can.
We're just sending it to planning. It's a referral over. It needs work. Absolutely. And this is just the start of the process.
Thank you.
But how big is the lot? How big is the lot? Do we know?
Probably.
444 acres.
It's small. This is the one that the Tim Owen
Multifamily on .44.
had
It's
submitted.
the lot that's next
He
to.
came in before
It's
us.
the one next to Schmeling
Couple months
Glass. He
ago.
came in a few months ago.
It's a one-family
Yeah.
residence. He wants to put a four-family residence
Really
in there.
nice.
But it's not. You got it
basically a rundown
the other day.
building right now.
Yeah, I've suggested to him that he needs to pick up some additional land to get it to work. We actually met in the land use committee last week. I know you were unavailable. And the suggestion was that he talked to the owners of Schmeling in particular and see if there might be some additional property. That's one of the issues that we'll need to work forward going forward. As it stands now, I think the calculation, he wants a multifamily zoning at 6 units an acre. I think he comes up just short of 3. He's looking for 4, he needs more land.
But we told him he'd have to really work at it because.
Yeah.
we
You
necessarily.
get 3 units?
Well,
Yeah, it's shy of 3
I mean,
units.
do we have any multifamily right now on?
Yes.
Yeah, next door.
There are,
Next
they
door.
were converted, they were done some time ago. Yeah, there's a 3-family immediately north of this one.
I mean, I just thought.
Yeah, and there's a multifamily zone to the other side of Schmeling Glass property, and there are some,
Well, multifamily that's less than half an acre?
it's a zone, yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's been there a long time. Yeah,
It's an old neighborhood. It's
and that
got
zone was a
It's gonna work. It's
lot
gonna
of
work.
different
I just-
zones up there.
Yeah, that zone was a
This is an
carryover. when we
improvement for
did the
that area.
zoning.
This is the house that the zone, or the building department had on the screensaver as the worst dilapidated
Yeah,
looking
kinda like
thing.
this, don't do
We're
this.
not taking
Yeah.
a nice,
No, I know.
Yeah,
this
he
is an
does a favor
improvement
taking
for
it
this
down,
area,
but,
trust
yeah.
me.
Yeah, he's got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
And we need to prove that out before it comes back to you. He wanted to start the process formally with
Okay,
us.
well, I was gonna say, do we want to send it to the planning board before he does that? Because we spend town time and money. He'll be paying escrow fees for
He'll
all
pay
that.
escrows and fees and all of that, yes.
And this is it's 4 2-bedroom units in a
No, I
building.
know, I'm
So
just-
it's not like it's gonna be a full-blown, you're not only gonna have 2 bedrooms each, so it's not, sounds a lot bigger, trust me.
It needs work. Yeah, and but
Well,
the
that's
answer is
what it-
yes, we're collecting escrow. And again, if he doesn't, my opinion, and I told him several times, if he doesn't pick up the additional properties, I don't see this frankly going forward.
Well, didn't you just say he could get three
He's just
family?
short of 3. Yeah, it's a rounding.
So
error, I
he may
guess.
not get his 4, but he
Might not
could
get his
get
4, he might get his 3.
2, duplex,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, I think the property immediately to the north that has it was an older converted home, there's 3 units in it. I think the property is roughly that size or even a little smaller. So, it's just an FYI.
Okay.
So at any rate, it'll come
This is
back.
just a referral
yeah.
over to the planning
It'll
board
come
to
back
start
to
the
us.
review process, and it won't
All
come
right.
back until it's been worked on.
All right, so anything else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Where are we, Jay?
And we're,
Bill? I forget where we were.
9. Whereas by amended resolution 723, number 8 of 2014, the town of Poughkeepsie Town Board authorized the receipt of a Dutchess County Shared Services Grant for snow control equipment and authorized the purchase of 6 heavy-duty international trucks from Navistar, Inc. for $646,782. The purchase of 6 combination truck bodies with attachments and accessories from Hudson River Truck for $320,177, and the purchase of 14 ground speed controlled 260-gallon pre-wetting ice control systems with accessories for $416,200, 14 units at $29,730 each. And whereas the town controller is advised that in lieu of bonding or issuing notes, it would be financially more beneficial to the town to procure the 6 heavy-duty trucks, the 6 combo truck body attachments with accessories, and the 6 ground speed control units, those not being purchased with the county grant monies, by lease purchase agreement with KeyBank Government Finances, Inc. Now therefore be it resolved that the amended resolution 723, number 8 of 2014, is modified to authorize the execution of a lease purchase agreement with Key Bank Government Finances for the aforesaid 6 Navistar trucks at $646,782 and 6 combo truck bodies, attachments, and accessories at $320,177 and 6 of the ground speed controlled units at $178,380. In total, a principal amount not to exceed $1,150,000. And be it further resolved that this financing resolution is a type 2 action requiring no environmental review. So moved.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
So rather than going through bonding and paying bond caps and all that, we're doing just a kind of a lease to own
Yeah.
through Key Bank.
Yeah, our old lease is up, basically, and
So at the end of the lease, we own the
I think we'd
equipment?
probably have a right to buy
Buy
it
it
or
out
own
or
it,
that's the way
you
it
know.
is.
Their lease purchase, yes.
Okay.
And we had asked, it was actually up last year, but we asked Superintendent of Highways to work with us, you know, with the finances and keep them running for another year, which he did. So this actually works out, you know, fairly well with our budget.
Okay.
Anything else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Be it resolved, the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby grant special consent to the following items to wit. 1, affirmation from legal, stifle the FOIL appeal documents to be provided by council at board meeting. 2, appointment from Water Supervisor Ballard Cody Wilkinson, temporary full-time laborer, and be it further resolved that upon the objection of any member of the town board, an item may be removed from the list and voted on separately. So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Are we coming back to read this one?
Number 1.
I see one.
What I did is
Yeah.
emailed you and then distributed copies of this, and the reason I didn't put it in the packet now publicly is because the resolution reflects the decision, and I'm just not sure whether that would be your decision. So there, not so there, but anyway, yes.
So you want me to read it, and then we'll come back and make a decision? Or you want me to go to number 2, and we'll come back with the decision on this one?
No,
Fine.
2's,
You probably could do number 2 first and then take a quick look at the memo.
Okay. Be it resolved, Town Board, Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby appoint Cody Wilkinson to the position of temporary full-time laborer with the Water Department at a salary of $16 per hour, which appointment will become effective January 5th, 2015, and which appointment is subject to a probationary period of not less than 8 nor more than 26 weeks of civil service law. And be it further resolved that the town supervisor is authorized to execute and file all documentation required by the Dutchess County Department of Human Resources in connection with this appointment. So moved.
Second?
motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 7-0. All right, back to number 1. Jim, is there anything, you had sent this memo out earlier. Is there anything you,
No, I don't have anything to add publicly. Obviously, as you might expect, the conclusion of my recommendation is in the last paragraph, which is on the second page.
all right. So we should read the resolution, and if anybody has any questions, they can ask you the questions. Right? Steven, you want? C1?
Whereas Doreen Tignelli has filed an appeal from a partial denial of a FOIL request related to the stifle tree removal, and whereas the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie has reviewed a confidential memorandum regarding the issues presented and copies of the documents attached to it, now therefore be it resolved, the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby affirm the denial of access to intra-agency materials and attorney-client communications, but modifies the denial and directs that the documents relating to this action be reviewed, and after redaction of the intra-agency materials and communications with counsel, make the factual portions available. So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
So if Doreen is dissatisfied with the results of this, can she appeal again?
The review of this appeal would be by an Article 78 proceeding.
Okay.
And that's just the way the process goes. There's an administrative decision that's made, and then the administrative appeal body here in the town is the town board. And from there, the next step is to Supreme Court.
Okay.
Anything else? Anybody else?
So really what you're saying in this last paragraph is you sort of need more time so you can get all the information factual so that you can then give it to her correct.
What I've suggested is that the idea of keeping intra-agency information, things where perhaps Mr. Wilson and the other planners are discussing how to handle a situation, that's pre-decisional, it's intra-agency, it doesn't have to be turned over. However, there's a sub-rule under that that says that technically what we need to do is to go through the documents which are being withheld, excise out the material which should not be turned over, and you shouldn't turn over communications with, attorneys or the intra-agency deliberative materials. However, to the extent that there are statements in there which are just pure statements of fact, they're not part of, this is my opinion and how I reached it, the public, Ms. Tignelli, is entitled to those documents. So those documents need to be, if you adopt this, it would be to go review the documents and take out the FOIL privileged material and leave in the purely factual material.
Gotcha.
So that could be delivered.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, anything else? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. That brings us to the end of our agenda. I meant to mention one thing at the committee of the whole, and I forgot, so I'll do it now. Today I attended the 20th Annual Law Enforcement Award Ceremony for Dutchess Stop DWI, and one of our officers again this year received one of the top cop awards, and it was Gregory Drobot. Gregory has been an officer with the Town of Poughkeepsie Police Department since 2010, is assigned to the Patrol Division. He vigorously enforces the vehicle and traffic laws, including DWI and DWAI violations. He has made 19 DWI arrests in the past year, so I want to congratulate Officer Drobot for his fine performance and for receiving this award.
Congratulations.
Nice job.
I'd like to suspend the rules for public comment on town issues.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Is there anyone who'd like to address the board? Doreen?
Yes, regarding agenda item number 2. It's very unusual I see that the police department is taking money from overtime and putting to a different line item for purchases, so that's nice to see.
Yep.
Control of overtime. We don't often see that in other agencies. And
Which would you be referring to, Doreen? I'm just
which
kidding.
shall remain nameless. And as far as my FOIL request, my main objective here is to, and I've discussed this with the supervisor as far as the tree removal, is that if anybody did exceed anything they were supposed to do, like did they really need a permit under Chapter 97 erosion and sediment control? Because, did they strip more than 1 acre of vegetation? Or have they done anything in the wetland area? Did they violate any federal, state, or town laws regarding wetland disturbance? So that's my main concern on getting these records. So,
Yep.
Thank
I
you.
understand that, and we'll get that
Okay.
squared away. Thanks,
you.
Doreen. Anybody else? See no one, I make a motion to resume the rules.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Councilman Safon, did you have something?
Yeah, I had one thing I just wanted to say to the board. In reference to the O'Neill Dutton property and the development of that property, I would really like this board to consider notifying them to carve out the town of Poughkeepsie and letting them go forward on the city property, because I don't think they're ever going to come back in and actually develop the property up to our specs right now at this time, and I don't want to hold up the city of Poughkeepsie and development needs they have, and I think we could wait and see how the city does their project and let them come back then, once we see how, everything's turning out, and then work on developing just our little niche, our property. So I would like this board to really consider that and maybe come up with a resolution to notify them that we would like to carve out our town property and develop ours separately.
Okay, all right.
Sounds like a good idea, Mike.
Pat, take
That's
that.
what you want, we support you.
Thank you.
All right, Jay?
Be it resolved, the town board of Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby adjourn the executive session to consider the following matters to wit. 1, confidential communications between the attorney and his client, the town board based on attorney-client privilege Be it further resolved, there will be no action appropriating money. So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Town Board adjourns to executive session at 7:30. And I want to wish everybody happy Hanukkah and
Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays.
Happy Kwanzaa.